I want to show you the process to make this from just a sketch like this. So I took this image out of Procreate and I exported it out as a PNG. And I do this, I'm doing all this on my iPad. You can use a desktop or whatever. I then take that image, I put it into ChatGPT 4.0, select the image, and I use a prompt that says, reimagine this as a 3D maquette bust on a pedestal. My goal here is to create something I can 3D print. And, I love sort of like the creature busts, which then I can sand and clean up and paint. So reimagine this as a 3D maquette bust on a pedestal, and I submit that to ChatGPT. We can see it getting started and starts to create the image. This took about a minute and a half or so, but I fast forwarded. You can see pretty good interpretation of my drawing, adding in a neck and then the pedestal, which is sick. So this works perfectly for me. So I'm going to save this out as an image, and then I'm going to go to makersworld.com and at the top select Maker Lab, and then scroll all the way to the bottom and do image to 3D model. You'll have to log in. I already logged in. I'll select my image out of my photo library that I just generated with ChatGPT and click generate. And this is probably the longest part of the process. I think this took 3 minutes or so. But then it outputs, it's fully 3D interpretation of my original sketch that had been generated into an image and brought in. So we save that out, we export that out as an OBJ, and then we go into Nomad, Sculpt, and Import. Find the file you outputted, which is basically named result, and say open. And it comes in. It's not perfectly set up for the scene, but I do just a quick snap to 90 and reposition it to fit as I'd hope to see it. And now we have a fully editable 3D model OBJ built in to Nomad Sculpt, and you can tweak this to your heart's content. I have things I'd like to tweak. I'd like to fix sort of the veins with the eyeballs. I'd like to turn the eyeballs into actual orbs. And then I'll change sort of the shape of the skull more, and then do some just final cleanup.